Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Let rain fall, let rain
And good afternoon. Welcome to Today at the Races here at Laurel Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm Stan Salter, pleased to be next to our odds maker here, Keith Fustel. First race post time today for our 9-race program, 125, 5 races on the grass, and that Rainbow Pick 6 carryover keeps growing. Almost hit yesterday. There was a single to one horse in the last race, and then Caramanos comes rolling home late. Caramanos with a nice day yesterday. 2 winners for Caramanos, so no 6 of 6 winners yesterday. Once again, what I've been saying, if you have all 6 winners, you'll take the pick 6 down. So it paid 5 out of 6 yesterday. Nice carryover today, a little over 11,000.
And I think it's an even tougher sequence. I mean, as you say, gather up your friends and family and throw together a monster ticket. Hopefully you can take home a big prize. I know a couple of people that were alive late yesterday just couldn't get through. And one thing noticing, there's our carryover today, $11,195 for that Rainbow Pick 6. The horse that spoiled it was spoiled by God. And going back and looking, I used the horse underneath in some exactas late. One thing I noticed, and when you're here and maybe when you're in Simo land, you really don't pick up on certain things. But that was a horse, Stan, we had given some comments, fractures pre-race, like back-to-back races. This horse came out a lot more calm, composed, wasn't, being any trouble behind the starting gate. And whatever they did between last race and yesterday really got this horse set to run a big one. And he certainly did, and upset the apple cart for everybody.
Yeah, that horse was 18 to 1, so those are the kind of prices you have to have on your ticket if you want to have a good shot at taking down the Rainbow Pick 6. All right, let's get right to it. 9 races today. Let's take a look here at our turf course. We'll be fast and firm today. We're on the bowl game and the Exceller turf courses here today at Laurel Park, and there you see the pictures of the beautiful state-of-the-art turf course, firm for the turf, fast on the main track. Beautiful day. We'll be in the 80s, a little humid.
Oh, I think we're going to hedge up on, like, say, 90s, maybe low 90s. Yeah.
All right, low 90s. Let's see if our picks can heat up here starting in race 1. The first race post time is 125. Race 1 starts off the early pick 5, and just like the late pick 5, it's an industry low 12% takeout for both pick 5s. The early pick 5 is a mandatory payout, and let's take a look here at Keith's early pick 5 ticket starting right here in race 1, claiming 5,000. Never won 2 lifetime, going a mile.
I don't know what's tougher, early or later. I mean, they're both very tough. First race, you're going to have money. I think centralized pretty much around 3 horses, the 2, 5, and 7. Corrales let him down yesterday in the opener. Let's see if he can make amends today. Second race, wide open affair. I'm going to go 3 deep in there using a long shot, the 1, Bellroom Dancer, trying to awake John Robb's turf stats up. 3 deep in the third, then we go to the 4th. I think we can narrow it down to 2 horses. Invisible Crown for Mike Pino is going to be a really short price, maybe a single for a lot of people in race 4. Then you go to race 5, another. I think you can go any which way there, maybe 7 or 8 horses deep. And I'm going to centralize around the 5, Drive at Night. Really woke up nicely off a little bit of a break for Damon last time. And the firster, Green Insight, an aggressive move for Larry Murray with the first-time starter, who was kin to a couple really nice horses. I think just a good aggressive spot right off the bat.
Yeah, it's a nice 8 to 1 price on your ticket. That's the kind of price for this early pick 5 where you can take the whole thing down. It's a mandatory payout on that early pick 5 with a low 12% takeout. Let's take a look at the rolling super high 5. We had a nice carryover going into the last race yesterday. Keep your eye on this rolling super high 5. Sometimes throughout the day the carryover will get big like it did for the last race yesterday. It's always a very low 15% takeout. It's for only races 7 or more betting interest. It'll start right here in the opener. I'm going to use the 7 on top here for the super high 5. Okay. Jump in Julianne over the 2-5, over 2-3-5-6, over the 2-3-4-5-6 for the bottom 2 spots. A $36 play for the race 1 super high 5, low 15% takeout. Let's take a look here at the opener. 3 and up, 2 life, claiming 5,000, going a flat mile on the main track here. Scratch part of the entry, the 1A Meteor, the 1 runs, and a rider change on the 3. It's all about the bends, make the rider Sheldon Russell. I go to the outside here, the Dale Capuano 7, jumping Julianne. Dale with a nice win yesterday. The barn's been doing well, and they get Callie Francois aboard. A nice lightweight assignment here at 108. I just think this horse can run all day. Kind of a plotter, comes late. I know he did have 1 mile. He tried the mile distance once. That was in the slop, so no, actually he's 0 for 4 at this 1 mile distance, but last time was in the slop. I just think he's a kind of a horse that just keeps coming late, and that's the kind of horses I like going to this second wire.
He kind of got that churning running style, just a little grind, steady, steady, steady. The tough thing with these horses going a mile, you know, with his kind of style, they need a little bit of a setup, and he just might get it. Loose Money adds the blinkers. Pagan Power, we've seen him up close to the pace. Yeah, and a good stat for Dale with horses sprinter routes at this lower level, lower than 10,000. He's 4 for 10 over the last 2 years. This horse looks like a 1-run sprinter, but as you said, this race could fall apart running right in front of him. We've had horses like Pagan Power and the 5 Loose Money. They've been flattening out at the 7 for a long distance and at this mile distance. I think the 5 is going to wake up a little bit, be part of the pace flow with the blinkers back on. It's been a move that's worked well for trainer Rudy Rodriguez. This horse goes second time, Rudy Rod. But Pagan Power, I'll come back to top. I like to put this horse on top again. Like I say, he killed everybody yesterday. Corrales in the opener with a 1 and 9.
I was on him. I know
a couple people needed him to run off the board to get the bridge jumper money, but Pagan Power picks up McCarthy here. You know, last time out the speeds went 1-2 around the racetrack, and you look at that July 9th day, the speed was pretty good. Front runners did quite well on the dirt. Give him one more shot here, Pagan Power. 2, 5, and 7.
He's been knocking at the door. You're not going to get much value. I respect him a little bit. I'll use him in the exact. It looks like we like the same 3 horses here in race 1 to kick off the early pick 5 with that mandatory payout, early double as well. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We get out to the turf course here. First of 5 races on the grass today. We're on the Exceller turf course, going 5.5 furlongs. Rails at 70 feet here for race 2 to kick off the early pick 4. So claiming 16,000. Philly Mares Never Win 2 lifetime, and we have a video here on the 1 Ballroom Dancer.
Yeah, I do. Well, let's pick this race up. Only time this filly's tried the turf in the 5-hole there at Pimlico. Number 5 comes out of the gate okay, then is bumped and kind of sandwiched early. Gets steadied back a little bit. We're going to show this again. Just enough. This horse has shown gate speed in the past. Did not show it that day, but pick it up here at the head of the stretch. The horse in 5th position with the yellow cap. Just kind of gets set down there late, leaving the 3/16. You know, maybe a little test. The horse got in enough trouble, figured he couldn't really overcome, but kicks on okay late, closes up 4 lengths in the final 1/8 of a mile, only beating a couple lengths behind Airlie's Diamond, a horse that figures into this race. We're going to try to use this horse in the gimmicks at a big price. I think some speed just to the outside. This horse has shown gate speed in the past. With a better break, can get into the flow of the race by the time they hit the top of the stretch. I like how they're keeping this horse. Going to give it one more try on the turf course. That's the 1 Ballroom Dancer. Going to have Jose Betancourt for Jerry Robb. My top selection is going to be the 5 stand. Perfect Trace, a horse that really likes the Laurel turf course. 4 starts, a win in 2 seconds. The only time it ran bad, had a major excuse, and was probably spotted too high in that Oakley Stakes. But boy, she comes back home here over a turf course she likes. She's tactical enough. A good effort behind a next out winner, Love Flute, the winner of Gulfstream last out, came back to run a 66. Anything close to that figure is going to win this race. She likes this turf course. She's proven. She gets a good flow. She'll probably draft down, be able to save ground, rate, tip out, and kick on from there. I like the 5 Perfect Trace and Flying Lioness for trainer Mary Epler. I'll let you talk a little bit about her, Stan, your top selection.
I'm thinking maybe Lone Speed here for Trevor McCarthy. Last time on the turf at Laurel last April. That was on a good turf course. We'll get a firm turf course today, but she was in front that day, a decent third with a 55 buyer. Pauline's Pride was second, would come back to win. Yeah. So I'm just thinking Trevor McCarthy can maybe get a flyer here early and say, see you later. The 5 Perfect Trace. So your top pick, Reed Nagel, with a very good stat, second off the layoff, 27%, and Caramano's Centrals with a big day yesterday, having 2 wins. So you like the 4 a little bit, Flying Lioness,
certainly.
Lone Speed, or with her early?
You can't leave her out. I'm looking at it, just other speed types. Maybe the 12 Maggie Wag. She showed speed after breaking a little slowly at Pimlico May 27th, and then she kind of got shut off at the 16th pole. I'm going to also use her underneath. I know we only give 3 horses here, but she's going to be an okay price. She's got enough tactical speed to get in good position, and she looked like she had a little bit of fight at the end of that race over at Pimlico. But, right, if Flying Lioness clears, she very well could be gone. I'm expecting a little pressure from the 12, but she's been real gritty of late. That's the 4, Flying Lioness for trainer Mary Epler. This is a good race. So you could go a couple extra ways too, because I think the 3, Katie's Horseplay, is a horse that fits dropping a notch in here, could get a good setup.
Been knocking at the door at this level, actually getting a little bit of a class relief today coming down from those starters. Alex Cintron's going to have to work out a trip from the inside to close in the 7. Arlize Diamond has been knocking at the door at this level. Fergal Lynch 25% when riding for this barn here, and Merriman, he should get a nice outside flow breaking from the 7 hole there.
Absolutely.
All right, race 3, we get back to the main track. This is a claiming 7,500. Haven't won 2 races in a year, going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Let's take a look here. I have a 10-to-1 shot on top here. The old 8-year-old number 7, 79er. Here's his last win. This is back on July 1st at the claiming 7,500. Haven't won a race in a year. So this is claiming 7,500. Haven't won 2 races in a year. Big difference. So he's stepping up a little bit here. But here's 79 on the far outside. This game old 8-year-old still knows how to get it done. Fergal Lynch has been on him 2 times, 2 wins. Fergal Lynch back aboard him today after those 2 wins in a row. I like the aggressive move to try the allowance company up there at Monmouth. Obviously, he's in top form right now for trainer Annette Eubanks, who's been quietly having a very good year, especially with a couple nice price winners this year. Fergal Lynch has been aboard for some of those, including the win we just showed you. That was 27-1, 2 back right here at Laurel Park. So I think we're getting good value here, and you like the horse too at 10-1.
I agree. I was looking at this race time and time. It took me about 25, 30 minutes to get through this race. I settled on the 7, a shorter field, and not many horses have any kind of early speed. I think because he might establish it. It looks coming off of that 7 furlong race last time. He is the speed of the speed, gets in light with jockey Jared Janot trying to break in here at Laurel Park. I think that horse will go ahead and send and try to dictate. He looked beat last time, the 4, because he really resilient, came back between horses doing. But 79er, he's done it on the front end. He's done it from well off the pace. Fergal Lynch knows this horse, and as you say, Stan, I think you're going to get value. I think he's going to have to put him into the race a little bit sooner today from the 7 hole, avoid any trouble and maybe getting hung wide.
All right, I like the 5 Turban a little bit. Is in top form his last 2 races. I throw the 4 in there a little bit. The 6 you throw out here. Second off, a little brief freshening for Mary Epler. A decent 4th last time, coming out of the same 79er because he can race. Had a little traffic problems that race. Keeps Victor Carrasco aboard today. Second off that brief freshening. They're only the 4th race this year for this lightly raced 5-year-old.
Definitely had trouble. Definitely was blocked at the head of the stretch. Once he got clear, though, I thought he would kick on a little bit stronger. Maybe he wasn't going to challenge and beat those horses, but I just thought visually, I thought a little bit more spurt at the end. He didn't get it. Maybe he just needed that race. He can probably move up off of that try. He's got some good back numbers to work off of. But Turban, he's really kind of bounced back into top form. He doesn't seem to really need a setup. He's gotten a little bit of help the last 2. But McCarthy, he'll definitely try to carry him from the 3/8 pole home.
That's a nice 8-to-1 price there.
Good grinder type.
On the 5 Turban. Let's get a commercial break. When we come back, we'll both have tickets for the Pick 6 today, and you should too. Everybody should. It's a very nice carryover. A little over 11,000 starts in race 4. We'll start with that when we come back.
Next January, 12 horses, $1 million buy-in for a $12 million purse. It is the world's richest race. It is the Pegasus World Cup.
Welcome back today at the races here at Laurel Park. I'm Stan Salter, Keith Fustel on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Great racing across the country. Of course, we'll have all the simulcast action. Some great racing right here. 5 races on the grass here for this 9-race program. Nice carryover in that Rainbow Pick 6. It was close to getting hit yesterday, but survives 2 today. Let's take a look at the carryover. A little over $11,195 to be exact. Starts right here in race 4. 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. Get your friends together. These first 3 races are very, very tough. I'm anxious to see your ticket. Let's start with Keith's ticket here for the Rainbow Pick 6. There it is.
64, and I don't know if I can do it with 648. You see, $64.80. Started off in the 4. I like 2 horses in here. The 9 obviously is going to be tough to beat coming in from New York. A little bit of a drop for Mike Pino. The barn has done well in the past with turf runners in Maryland. The 2 Hibernia Fire, though, I thought really kicked on nicely at the end after kind of get swarmed over at the head of the stretch. We'll go 2 by 3. 5th race is Amaze. We're going to say I've got to throw in the first, or hasn't proven he can't run. So let's, a lot of these have proven they don't want to run. 6th race, another race. It's a tough, wide open race. A little value in here with the 2 Don't Make Me Cry at 15-1 morning line. A horse I liked last time, didn't fire at all. Gets a good setup again. Let's see if he can kind of bounce back to one of those races prior from off the pace. The 2-7-11. Race 7. Love to go all here. Had to trim it somewhere. We're going to go 2 deep with the 2 Arrogant Officer and the 4 Ground Control, and a little drop for Rudy Rod. Race 8, 3 deep with the 6, 9, and 12. They're kind of the obvious horses. And in race 9, we'll go 1, 2, 11. Kind of chalked it up a little bit in the last 2, but let's take. You said let you wait and see your ticket. Let's see what you got. How big is the ticket, Stan?
Well,
86.40, not too bad.
Well, and actually, there's a late scratch on number 5 in race 4, so you take that runner out. It's actually a $72 ticket there. I think you try to go for the value, try to find your price horses in these first 3 legs.
Okay.
Races 4, 5, and 6, I think, are wide open, right for a long shot. I think, the last 3 races might be rather chalky, especially race 9, where I love the one there, Do That Dance. Sheldon Russell up for Hammy Smith. Those 2 teamed up for a nice winner yesterday. So race 4, I'm going 6 deep here. No, 5 deep, because take the 5 out of race 4. You're using the 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. Race 5, that's a maiden 10, 5.5 on the main track. Wide open. I'm using everybody in there but the 8, 9 there in race 5. And then race 6, using everybody in there but the 1 and also the 8, 9. I'm not 8, 9, and 10. So everybody but the 1, 8, 9, and 10 there in race 6. And then my singles. Race 7, I love the Sheldon Russell horse on the outside. Number 7, Cold Facts, in very good form right now. Emelina, number 5 in race 8. Can that horse, that Honest Mare, be Lone Speed? I'm excited to see the matchup, the relationship there as Sheldon Russell gets aboard Emelina today. And then I love the 1, Do That Dance, in the last race. Sheldon Russell aboard there for Hammy Smith. So there we go. I'll hopefully be live after race 6.
Decent plan of attack, as you say. Maybe you can catch 5. If you catch 6, great. With Cold Facts, at least he's in race 7. He's been a consistent horse against a field that's just, their form has been all over the place. The road has got to go through Emelina. She's getting the lead. And as you say, Do That Dance in really good form for Hammy. I like the attack. And even if you had maybe 1 or 2 more horses, get a couple people together, that's not a bad ticket. Very affordable for a lot of value and to go for a price. I think this thing's going to hedge up towards $20,000 a day.
Yeah, that's a nice pot there if you can take it all down. Let's take a look here at the first leg. Race 4 won the bowl game turf course, going a mile and a 16th, rails at 17 feet. The race 4 also kicks off the middle pick 4. It's the maiden claiming 25,000, 3 and up, mile and a 16th. The 9's going to be the heavy chalk. A lot of people might single on this horse. 7-5 is the 9, Invisible Crown, Angel Cruise up for Mike Pino. Now this is in very good form right now. Taking a slight class relief, is the horse to beat. However, that said, is a 4-year-old maiden, probably needs to be cut 0 for 11.
Yeah, that's true. The 2 back race, very good. 4 next out winners, including the horse How's Your Sugar, Stan, who we've seen win 2 races over this course, 1 on the turf, 1 on the dirt. How's Your Sugar? 1 clear for maiden 25, 1 clear for this level at a fairly short price. So that kind of really enhances the chances of Invisible Crown. But you see, 11 starts, 5 seconds, 3/3. He looks like he's got a little bit of hang in him. Maybe this drop will get him over the top. I like the 2, Hibernia Fire. Robin Graham trying to kind of heat up a little bit at Laurel Park. Last time out, this horse dropped slightly from maiden special to maiden 40. Had to do all the dirty work, though. Stalking an honest pace, made a move into it at the quarter pole stand, but then was swarmed over by 3 or 4 horses. The winner kind of came up inside. The jock had to steady, but what I like, this horse came back at the end. He showed a little bit of a fight, only beaten 4.5 lengths, gave up maybe a length the last eighth of a mile. Drops one more notch. This horse is an improving type. I think he's faced the right kind compared to the rest of these horses, save maybe the 9 Invincible Crown, and he may not have to do the dirty work. I think there's a couple other speeds in here that he could get maybe a little bit further back and make the run, not have to make it so soon. So let's go with the 2, Hibernia Fire, for trainer Robin Graham and Horacio Caramanos.
I like the 2 a lot. Caramanos, big day yesterday. This horse coming out of some strong running lines. That's a nice 6-to-1 price. Should get a ground-saving trip from the inside. So we both like the 9-2-2-9. I go with the 8 in there as well. Trevor McCarthy aboard for Alan Goldberg. This 3-year-old son of Kitten's Joy finally woke up in his 3rd career start. Last out up there at Parks, maiden 25. Similar level to this. An okay 3rd that day. See if he can keep that sharp form down here.
Yeah, will he shake free? Pretty quick internals, 22 and 4, 47-3. The blinkers went on last time, just gave up a little bit late. He'll have to deal with Prince Artie to his inside. He's also pretty quick. Will he both be able to stay around at the end? That's going to be the main concern. If the horse does clear, though, we can certainly see these Goldberg horses. They take a couple races to really kind of hit top form. Wouldn't be a surprise at all if he gets it done. I like the 7 a little bit in here. Throw the last race out, lost the irons at the break, really was tough to handle, was rushed up between horses and gave way. You go back to the firm turf course efforts last year, good enough to get a piece, and picks up Fergal Lynch, who's riding well over this turf course.
And the barn's going well there as well. It's a nice little, very live 8-to-1 price there on the 7 in race 4. Wide open. Race 5 even more wide open. Maiden 10, anything can happen in these maiden 10s. Go as deep as you want. Creepy the Crab, kind of turning into a local folk hero around here. He has a shot. This is a maiden 10, 3 and up, 5.5 furlongs. I go with the 5 on top. Drive at night. Sheldon Russell gets aboard for Damon Dilladovico, and finally got a better post last time after being buried down there on the inside post for 3 straight races. Good post last time, and a sharp second going 7 furlongs, coming off a little brief resting. So now second back with Sheldon Russell, and I think he'll like the 5.5 even better.
Well, we're certainly going to have some speed types. I got to think Al Cortez is going to send the 3 Jacoby J. We know Keep Your Eye on DeBlato has speed. It'll be honest up front. Drive at night. Good stat there you see for trainer Damon Dilladovico. Second off a 45 to 180-day layoff, 30% off a good sample size. I respect that. Respect the barn. This horse woke up. I think he's going to make a sharper run at 5.5 furlongs. I'll take the 11, a flyer on top. Green in sight for trainer Larry Murray for the estate of Howard Bender. This horse, good workout. July 14th at Laurel. 5/8, 102 and 3 breezing out of the gate. Close to that might win. Something like that kind of wins this race. And Cabrera, this horse comes from a decent family, a half to Green Tree Road, Indian Bucks horses we've seen around here as a full division of Green, who actually ran okay first time out, and it ran a 38 in its debut at 5.5 furlongs. The 38 buyer may win this race, Stan, and did win second time out. So this horse is bred to run well early. So I'll take a flyer on the 11. Green in sight, maybe tab the tote. Larry Murray does okay. Not maybe so much with a maiden claimer firsters, but he's okay with first out.
Well, and the thing about it is, and what I like about Larry so much, he's always so honest. He tells you everything. This is not a cause for concern. This horse being in for 10,000. All these horses are for sale. There's a big dispersal coming up in Kentucky in November, so they're all for sale. They have to get sold somehow. So that's maybe the objective here, to try to get this horse sold here today in the debut.
Stay with somebody in Maryland, you know. Take advantage of the Maryland program.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a nice 8-to-1 price there from a good barn. Your first timer there. We both like the 5. I put the 4 in there as well. LG Crash Angel Cruise up for Donnie Barr. This horse dropping to the maiden 10 for the first time today. Last time on the main track at Pimlico against Better, maiden 25. A decent effort that day. Was 4th, got a 43 buyer. That's good enough to probably win here today.
It is. It's you know, this horse has quickly gone downhill though after really an encouraging debut. Behind Blue Moon Ace, Blixton Hill Shadow. Thought he was going to be something, and then something has really gone awry. Maybe this drop to the 10 to the bottom will pick his head up. Slew's Love, I think he was a little too close to the pace 2 races back against a bunch of these horses. I think he can take a little bit further back, have a little bit more punch through the last 1/8 to 3/16 of a mile.
So, all right. Creepy the Crab, have a shot.
You know, and I've been using him too. I've been a fan of his. Watch him today.
I love them first time out.
Watch it. Yeah, Creepy the Crab. Okay, he's going to creep up on us.
He's going to get us one of these days when we give up. I have Creepy the Crab on my pick 6. I'm not letting him kick me out.
Right.
All right. Let's see. That was race 5, wide open there in race 5. Another wide open race, and race 5 kicks off the late pick 5. Vinny Perrone will be on with me this afternoon. He'll have a late pick 5 ticket for you with that industry low 12% takeout. Race 4 kicks off the late pick 4. This race is wide open as well. Let's take a look here at my late pick 4 ticket. We start on the Exceller turf course, going a mile and a 16th, rails at 70 feet, and I'm going to go deep here in race 6. I think using everybody but the one. I think there's a ton of speed in here, so I used every horse that looks like it can close, and I threw out the speed horses, the 1, the 8, 9, 10. So I threw out the speed, and I'm using everybody else in race 6. I'll key on the 7, Cold Facts in race 7, going 3 deep in race 8, the 5, 6, 9, with the 1, 2, 11 there in the 9th race. So a $36 play for the late pick 4. This race here, race 6, a starter allowance, optional claiming $16,000. Long on the Exceller turf course, wide open. The 3, Loyalty Spirit, the beaten favorite at this level last time, but the last 3 races on the turf since the claim by Jamie Ness is in top form. You get Victor Carrasco. You have to use the horse protectively, but it doesn't have to win. Carrasco's going to have to find a clear seam somewhere when they're coming from behind.
Yeah, the only kicker, the negative I have against a horse like Loyalty Spirit, and even a horse I'm going to use in here, the 11 Modern Tail, is Fracero, a horse that usually kind of likes to stalk or maybe even on the lead, was able to outkick those horses home. They both looked like they had the measure and looked like they were going to go right on by, but couldn't outkick Fracero. That was my biggest concern, but they're going to get a good setup again with plenty of speed. Bopping and weaving his speed. Nye is obviously going to set an honest pace along with Henry Hayes, so it should be fast and furious on the front end.
For once, I'm happy that you don't like my top pick, because I'm going deep in this race, and I'm hoping for a big price.
I can use them. No, if I'm going to pick 4 and I'm spreading, I'm definitely using them.
You have to use them protectively.
Yes, absolutely. But the 7, Kitty Frito, was a horse that absolutely got pounded at the windows last time. Comes back off of a long layoff, April 2015 to June, over a year. Duels, quits at 4-1. You know, against an okay 2 in life field next time out. I think I lined the horse like 8 or 10-1. The money just came pouring in. This horse didn't disappoint at all. Was able to overcome a wide trip, stalk and pounce. This horse is sharp. I like the way they attacked at the windows. This horse has numbers enough that puts him into the race. He's in the right kind of form. I think he can maybe get first run stand on the closers and hopefully dig in late. That's the 7, Kitty Frito, for Mike Giralles and jockey Julian Pimentel.
Mike Giralles having a nice summer. 2 wins this summer, 1 with this horse, another with Servers for 10. I think you said the key. I hope this horse doesn't get caught up in that early pace and can stalk right off the pace setters like he did last time when he got the win.
Had the 10 hole last time, was able to kind of get over, get okay position, and really dug in gamely through the last 1/8 of a mile. I think he's going to be really dangerous right back, and I think you'll get a fair price with some of these other horses that have still been in this condition, maybe a couple of those dropping. But yeah, the 7 looks good. The 2, Don't Make Me Cry, like the horse last time. Took him off of that trouble trip 2 back July 1st at Laurel. He was stymied down on the inside. He just had nowhere to go. Kept on willing to the wire. He got a good setup last time. There was absolutely no run from this horse. I like that Damon's going to give him one more shot at this level. I'm not going to throw him out. He's going to be 15 or 20-1, Stan, and could come rolling late.
Absolutely. You have to use him. And the Kieran McGee horse, the 11 Modern Tail, Trevor McCarthy aboard here. And this horse is a big-time closer, 9-2. Good second last time, coming with a wide run.
Yeah, we discussed this horse July 17th. Like this horse, got a good price at 6-1. Like the ride that McCarthy was able to give him. He got a little bit of trouble into the far turn. Really not his fault, just the way the race unfolded, but he took him a little bit further back. We commented this horse kind of likes to hang a little bit when he's too close. He stayed back. He made a good run. He sustained the run even after encountering a little bit of traffic through the stretch. I know the 12 is a horse you used in your pick 6s, I believe. Mod in your pick 4. Yep. He's a little bit of danger too. He's he's coming here second off a little bit of a, I should say second off layoff, back to Kingsbarn though, and off of Thorpe, who had to substitute for a little bit. But this horse had a lot of trouble early and kept on running late. So a wide open race in the 6th. It certainly could fall apart. The last 3/16 of a mile is going to be really interesting here.
Yep. All right, so the first 3 legs of today's pick 6, very tough, wide open. My ticket starts to narrow down here in race 7. It's a very nice wide open, claiming 11,000, going 7 furlongs on the main track for 3-year-olds and upward. And yeah, the horse I think that's in the best form right now is the 7, Cold Facts, on the outside. You like him a little bit here. Second off the layoff for trainer Wayne Potts. Second off the claim for trainer Wayne Potts. Sheldon Russell gets aboard today. In the first race off the claim, it was July up at Delaware. Good second up there in a starter race going a mile and a 70. The race before that at Delaware going a mile. So I love the slight cutback here today to 7 furlongs.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of natural speed, this horse. And looking at the race, Showtime, he could be the speed of the speed, maybe ground control. Colfax, he's going to need a little bit of flow up in front of him. He's like a grinding type. But Sheldon's the right kind of rider, good strong rider to kind of carry him home the last 3/8 of a mile. I'm going to use him because this is a guess. This race is a complete guess for the most part. So many horses off form. Cutty Shark, the only horses won at the distance.
Yeah, Cutty
You're
Shark,
looking at him.
it's a bang, and the two arrogant officers, Showtime, a lot of horses with back class in here. That's,
my top selection is going to be the 4 ground control for Rudy Rod. I've seen this horse bounce back off of bad efforts in the past. Not a terrible effort last time for 12-5. Was stuck down inside at Belmont. He could be the controlling speed, or maybe just sit outside of Showtime. I think if he breaks cleanly, it's going to be Cortez. He's going to have to make the decision, make the right move. Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stalk, or should I try to steal it? The ground control, I think you're going to get an okay price on him, maybe in that 3-1 range for Rudy Rod.
Cortez has won a race this summer here for the barn, and a very good speed rider. I see Cortez on the horse. I have to think they're going to go. I respect him a little bit. I see that 85 buyer 2 back with that win up there at Aqueduct. I throw him in the mix. I'm going to put the 3 in there as well. Showtime. I'm not going to let this 7-time winner here at Laurel Park, who's made over $250,000 for a good barn, Claudio Gonzalez with the leading rider Victor Carrasco dropping, and I'm not going to let this horse kick me out, so I use him in the mix as well.
Yeah, tough race 7. I like to say Arrogant Officer, I think is okay. Phil took the horse back. Didn't run too bad against Stolen Love. Never stopped looking. 7 furlongs might be okay. He's got a second out of 5 starts. Steady, pretty much a steady mid-70 buyer. He can run that. That certainly could win this race.
Yeah, old class horse, 7-year-olds made over $300,000. The 2 Arrogant Officers. So a wide open race there in race 7. Race 8 and 9 are 2 allowance features of the day. We're on the bowl game turf course going long here in race 8. We're on the Exceller turf course going long in race 9. A couple nice allowance races to close off the day. Let's we have a look here, a video on the 5. Emelina, who's going to be my top pick, and this is what I'm hoping is happening when she turns for home today. Let's take a look at her last win going long on the turf here at Laurel Park. This was back on March 25th. Emelina in front. She cruises today, this day. This was a tough 7,500 starter with Jevion Toledo aboard. Sharp effort. And yes, I know you see disqualified from purse money. I'm not sure what happened there, but we've seen big performances like this before. She wasn't disqualified from any purse money when she galloped coast to coast on the dirt May 15th at Pimlico, and then they tried the allowance company with David Amiss at Pimlico June 3rd. She was in front that day, hung on for an okay 4th. I'm excited to see the relationship with Sheldon Russell and her today. So I'll try the 5, Emelina, on top here one more time. She could be lone speed in this race.
Yeah, you see the short comment there. Throttled early, faded. Maybe the jock was having a little trouble kind of fighting. She was fighting restraint early on. Maybe kind of just let her go early, and then as they hit the backstretch, moving from maybe the 5/8 pole to the half, and then kind of ease her back. It'll be a good jockey's race between Victor Carrasco on the 9 Broken Bridle and Emelina with Sheldon Russell to just kind of see how they're going to do it. Because I don't know if Broken Bridle wants to make that move really early into her. That's going to be a good jockey's race out on the front end. See what kind of tactics they take. I could certainly see the 5 going wire to wire. I like the 12 here, looking for a little bit of a price for Leatherberry. Zippity Gal, I know draws outside, but I think has enough tactical speed to get over, save a little bit of ground in the first run, but form is sharply improving. I like the confidence move from the starters up to the straight. Other than in here, a good aggressive. You go back and read the long comment and watch the race. A good aggressive move from between horses last time. I think she's moving in the right direction and might just get the perfect kind of setup to get up late.
Nice 10-1 price. This is a well-bred 3-year-old daughter of City Zip, and Leatherberry, he still knows how to get the job done first off the claim, and this is an aggressive spot going to the A other than because Leatherberry was one of the best ever at placing horses in races. He's still eligible for this starter 3 life condition, so he's skipping that condition to go to this allowance race. So a lot to be said for that one. I use this this horse in the pick 6. We both like the 9, Broken Bridle, and yeah, you mentioned a jockey's race, Victor Carrasco. Broken Bridle, she's always right there at this level, beaten favored in 2 of her recent races at this level. So yeah, Carrasco's going to have to time this move just right here, as she appears to maybe be a little finicky as far as, you know, when you time the move on this man.
Absolutely. It's going to be really good to see when those two hook up, if they hook up. You know, I think it's going to somewhere maybe come around the quarter pole. But good jocks race between the 5 and the 9. Maybe another horse to look at. Conscription is transferred over the turf course really nicely for trainer Graham Motion. Questionable of who she beat June 9th at Pimlico, Stan, but I like the change of tactics. She was able to go ahead and take to the rating under Trevor McCarthy. He was able to kind of go up and find room between horses to get up late. Dixie Spirit, Anissa, okay horses, but she stepped up in the stakes company last time and really didn't embarrass herself at all. Involuntary is a horse that we saw run big over at Pimlico, so Conscription certainly fits. I'm just going to go for a little bit higher price with the 12.
Yeah, she's a well-bred 3-year-old filly by Warfront, but this is, as we've seen time and time again, these 3-year-olds facing the older horses in these allowance races. Sometimes it can work out, but like yesterday, you had the Flash McCall going against the older horses, and that 2 other than didn't work out. But I remember back when Gabby was here, I was knocking a couple 3-year-old fillies going against older horses, Arnaud Delacour, and they both ran 1-2. So this is maybe the fillies can run against the olders. You know, the girls grow up quicker than the guys.
Well, it's the time of year, though, you're seeing. I particularly, you know, and my partner Bill up there for the Equibase has kind of instilled in me. You know, you start looking now at those 3-year-olds that are getting a little bit better and better against some of these horses that have kind of just stalled in this condition. And this is where they can make those strides where the other ones have kind of flatlined with their form. We saw yesterday on Bridal Line. I know he's a 4-year-old, but kind of lightly raced for Hammy. Talk about a horse that looks like he's going in the right direction.
Sure.
Tab him out next time out. He's really looks like he's kind of found his niche. He looks like a type, I think you can stretch him out even further, gets really brave up on the front end. When he relaxes through a first half that's comfortable, he's going to be dead tough to beat.
And might see that horse in the Maryland Million Classic later this fall. Okay, race 9, another nice allowance co-feature of the day. We're on the Exceller turf course here for race 9. The rail's at 70 feet. And in case I didn't tell you, we're at 17 feet with the rail there, race 8. But 70 feet for the rail, race 9. Do that dance. Let's take a look here at this horse's last win at Pimlico. I believe this was a state-bred allowance race. Yeah, this was no, I'm sorry. This is the last race here here at Laurel. Okay, this was where she was second. She won 2 back at Pimlico, but even more impressive perhaps was her second to Saluable, who's in front here. This is a daughter. The horse that wins, Saluable, is a son of Galileo, the world's leading sire. This horse was shipping down from New York from the trainer Bob Robato's barn, and I think Saluable, a very, very nice horse. So do that dance off that sharp win against Allowance Company at Pimlico. Followed that up with a very sharp second, I think, here today. There's no Saluables in this race, so I love the one, Do That Dance with Russell aboard. Yeah,
Do That Dance was the 8th that day, and you saw at the head of the stretch, this horse had to kind of wait for a scene to open, altered out, altered back in, and really kicked on nicely. It was dead game to hold the place over some horses on the outside. Looked like they were going a little bit better at the 8th pole. This horse was able to outfinish them from a tough inside move there. Sabe, as you said, Stan, was coming in from New York and run, I think, like an 89 buyer prior. This horse fits. He'll get another good trip, I think, a stalking trip to the inside. I'm going to use the 2, Dat Melody. We're right on the same 2 horses for trainer Carl Loran. Boy, what a break from August of 2014 to May of 2016. Took 1 race over the dirt and then transferred to the turf at Pimlico. And boy, did this horse really kick on nicely through the last 1/8 of a mile in that starter condition. I think he can make the jump up to the other then, and you've got to respect the 11 for trainer Arnaud Delacour. The biggest question mark is the company. Who did he beat? It was a short field at Delaware, but visually you go watch the race.
Sure.
It was never in doubt. He was 3 wide, just under a hammer lock. It was just a matter of how far and when he was going to move to the front. You've got to respect the 11. Speak with me. You saw Delacour, was involuntary, the filly, do the kind of a similar thing. 1 easy down at Tampa, came up to Pimlico over Preakness weekend and ran a big effort there. going from maiden special to the A other than.
And the 11, speak with me. There's not too much speed in here. We both like the 1, 2 on top. Both of those are closers. Maybe the 2, that Melody can lay a little closer with Carrasco. But the 11 might be part of the early pace, might be in front early here with Trevor McCarthy, which scares me because this looks like a nice 3-year-old. They brought over from France, Team Valor, very good at doing this. You get Trevor McCarthy aboard, so nice 4-to-1 price to maybe upset the top 2 favorites there in race 9. All right, we have a couple more minutes. Can we throw up the pick 6 tickets one more time? We'll start with Keith's pick 6 ticket. Nice carryover today, a little over 11,000. It starts in race 4 today. It was almost hit yesterday. Get some friends. Keith has a ticket. I have a ticket. Everybody should have a ticket. Here's your ticket one more time, Keith.
I tell you, and looking at race 4 to me looks like, I hate to say there's an easy race, but it looks like the 2 or the 9. Maybe the 8 if you want to spread a little bit in there, and then it just, you could go all over the place. Have a lot of fun at races 5 through 9. The 5th race, Stan, you're using pretty much everybody. I'm going to go 3 deep, 3 by 3. In the 7th race, we're going to try and narrow it down to 2 horses. Arrogant Officer, Schoenthal has this horse. He knows the horse. It was a reclaim. Has been running steady mid-70 Beyer numbers. I think that's good enough to win this race. I also think the Ground Control is going to be the primary speed type that's going to be around a long, long way. I think the race might go through him by the time they hit the quarter pole. Race 8 will go 3 deep with the 6, 9, and 12. Pretty much the obvious horses. Going to throw out Emelina, but I could see you using her. She's going to be out there on the lead a long, long way in race 8 and in race 9. Really like the 1, 2, or 11. I think I can, stay right around those 3 horses in race 9. But I might get together with some people and try to spread around a little bit further coming down to that last race.
It's good that you're predicting about 20,000 in the pool.
Looks like it. You nailed it yesterday. They bet about 5,000, 6,000. I think even a little bit more back into it today.
On the Saturday card, absolutely. Here's my ticket. Race 4, 5, and 6. Just go deep. Use as many as you can. They're wide open. Trust us. Races 4, 5, and 6 wide open. And then I'm going to narrow my ticket down a little bit more here. In race 7, I'll key on the 7. I think I'm keying on Sheldon Russell the last 3 legs. I am. Sheldon Russell on the 7, Colfax in race 7. Sheldon Russell on the 5, Emelina in race 8. And Sheldon, they call him the Muscle Russell on the 1. Do that dance for Hambone in the last race. So if Russell has a good day.
My man's coming off of an injury. He's got to carry you 3 straight races. What are you toting these days? About 180, 190? I mean, can he carry you?
That's right.
I think he can. He's a strong kid.
He's a professional. He works hard in the morning. He doesn't pay attention to what I do. He's up 4 in the morning every day working his butt off. So, all right, good luck on the pick 6 today. Dave Rodman's coming up next. We'll have today's scratches and changes. Vinny Perone, he'll be on with me this afternoon. Best of luck.
All right, good luck.